The strategic alliance between the United States and the Persian Gulf region, particularly nations like Kuwait, is one of the most enduring and complex pillars of modern international relations. This relationship is not merely a product of historical coincidence, but a calculated necessity rooted in global energy security, geopolitical stability, and economic interdependence. For decades, the United States has committed immense military, diplomatic, and financial resources to ensure the sovereignty and stability of this region. This commitment stems from the understanding that any significant disruption in the Gulf does not remain a local issue. It triggers a domino effect that impacts gas prices in the Midwest, stock markets in Tokyo, and the overall security of the global supply chain. To the United States, protecting this region is equivalent to protecting the heartbeat of the global industrial economy. Today, we will talk about why the United States protects this region at all costs. So, before we start, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. The primary driver behind the U.S. commitment to this region is undeniably energy security. The Persian Gulf holds the world's largest proven oil and gas reserves, which remain the lifeblood of global manufacturing and transportation. The Carter Doctrine, established in the late 1970s, explicitly stated that the U.S. would use military force if necessary to defend its national interests in the Persian Gulf. This was a clear signal that the free flow of oil through the Strait of Hormuz, a narrow choke point through which 20% of the world's petroleum passes, is a red line for American national security. By maintaining a permanent naval presence and deep defense ties with local partners, the U.S. prevents any single hostile power from monopolizing these resources or using them as a weapon of economic blackmail against the international community. Beyond oil, the region serves as a critical geostrategic crossroads connecting Europe, Africa, and Asia. For the United States, maintaining influence here is essential for global power projection. The military installations in the region provide the necessary logistics and staging grounds for counterterrorism operations and the containment of regional adversaries. These bases allow the U.S. to respond rapidly to crises, ensuring that extremism does not spread and that trade routes remain open. If the U.S. were to withdraw, a power vacuum would likely be filled by rival global powers, fundamentally shifting the balance of international influence and potentially threatening the rules-based order that has governed global trade since the end of World War II. Economic interdependence also plays a massive role in why the U.S. protects this region at all costs. Gulf nations are among the largest investors in the American economy. Through their sovereign wealth funds, these countries hold billions of dollars in U.S. Treasury bonds, real estate, and shares in major American corporations. This financial recycling of petrodollars back into the American system helps stabilize the U.S. dollar and funds domestic growth. Furthermore, the region is a major market for American exports, ranging from high-tech medical equipment and Boeing aircraft to sophisticated defense systems. A conflict in the region would not only stop the flow of energy, but would also result in a massive loss of capital investment and export revenue for the United States. The historical precedent set by the 1990 to 1991 Gulf War solidified this protective stance. When Kuwait was invaded, the United States led a massive international coalition to liberate the country, demonstrating that the territorial integrity of its partners was non-negotiable. This event established the U.S. as the primary security guarantor in the region. For the U.S., protecting these nations is a matter of credibility. If the U.S. were to abandon its commitments, it would signal to allies worldwide that American security guarantees are unreliable, potentially leading to a global arms race as nations seek to defend themselves without American support. Therefore, the physical protection of the region is tied directly to the psychological and political strength of American global leadership. Furthermore, the region is central to the global fight against nuclear proliferation and the spread of weapons of mass destruction. By maintaining close ties with Gulf partners, the United States can better monitor and counteract the ambitions of states seeking to destabilize the regional balance. The intelligence sharing and joint security exercises conducted between the U.S. and its regional allies are indispensable for preventing regional arms races that could lead to catastrophic conflicts. Protecting the region at all costs includes the prevention of a nuclear-armed Middle East, which would pose an existential threat not just to the local populations, but to global peace at large. In addition to military and economic reasons, there's a growing focus on the energy transition. While the world is moving toward renewables, the transition period requires a stable and predictable supply of traditional energy to prevent global economic crashes. The U.S. works closely with Gulf nations to ensure that they remain reliable suppliers, while also partnering on future green energy technologies. By protecting these nations now, the U.S. ensures it has a seat at the table during the massive economic shifts of the next century. The region's transformation into a hub for trade, tourism, and renewable energy research means that its value to the United States is actually increasing rather than diminishing in the face of climate change. Finally, the protection of this region is rooted in the preservation of the global maritime commons. The U.S. Navy's role in patrolling the waters around the Arabian Peninsula ensures that piracy is kept at bay and that merchant vessels from every nation can transit safely. This is a global public good that the United States provides, which facilitates the $5 trillion in trade that passes through these waters annually. By securing these lanes, the U.S. prevents price spikes in consumer goods across the planet. The untold truth of American involvement is that it is the policing of these waters that allows the modern consumer lifestyle in the West to exist, without constant disruption from regional instability or maritime threats. In conclusion, the United States protects this region at all costs because it is the intersection where energy, finance, and global security meet. It is not just about defending a piece of land. It is about defending the global system itself. The stability of the Persian Gulf is a prerequisite for a functioning global economy, and the U.S. recognizes that the cost of intervention is far lower than the cost of a global collapse triggered by regional chaos. As long as the world relies on the free flow of trade and energy, the American shield over this region will remain a fundamental reality of global politics, ensuring that the wheels of international commerce continue to turn. If you like this video and would like to see more like it, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and click the button to subscribe.